Welcome to Mish Minds. Today we're here to tackle the final and maybe the most powerful chapter of Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. We're going to dive deep into a concept that a lot of us wrestle with, but it's the one that holds the key to true peace, and that is the meaning of surrender.
So let's just start with that word. When you hear surrender, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it sounds like losing, right? Like you're waving a white flag, giving up, letting life just steamroll you. But what if that's a complete misunderstanding?
Well, this is where Tolle just flips the whole script. He shows us how what we commonly see as defeat is actually a source of incredible strength. What we call giving up is really just wisely yielding to the flow of life. And what we mistake for weakness, that's actually the doorway to our real, unshakable power. So, in this explainer, we're going to take that journey from misunderstanding to, hopefully, a deep revelation. We'll look at what surrender really is, how you can actually practice it day to day, and the kind of transformation it can spark. Then we'll have a chance for you to reflect on it yourself. Okay, let's dive in and dismantle this huge misconception right away. See, surrender isn't about just rolling over and accepting a terrible life situation. Nope. It's something much, much deeper. It all happens on the inside. According to Tolle, the root of all our suffering, every single bit of it, comes from this one thing, inner resistance. It's that voice in your head that's always saying no to what's happening. It's that constant judging, complaining, and labeling of things as bad or wrong. That resistance is just your mind trying to deny reality, trying to deny what already is. And this quote, wow, it just captures it perfectly. Our mind has this whole idea of how things should be, but life just gives us what is. And that space right between the two, between our expectation and reality, Tolle calls that the pain gap. The more we fight reality, the wider that gap gets, and the more we suffer. It's that simple. So let's be really clear here. Surrender is not about giving up on your dreams or resigning yourself to a miserable life. It's the simple but incredibly profound wisdom of accepting the present moment exactly as it is, without any conditions. It's about dropping that inner no and instead offering a deep, inner yes to this moment, right here, right now. Tolle gives us this really awesome analogy to make this crystal clear. Imagine you're walking at night through a super thick fog. That fog, that's your whole life situation. It's all your problems, your past, all your worries about the future. It just feels overwhelming, right? But you have a powerful flashlight, and that's your conscious presence. That flashlight cuts through the fog and creates this small, clear space right in front of you. That clear space is the now. You don't have to accept the whole fog, just this one clear moment. Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, but how do we actually do this in real life? When you're stuck in traffic or dealing with a really difficult person or facing a massive life challenge. Let's break down the actual steps. The cool thing is, surrender actually works with action, not against it. First, you totally admit, okay, I want out of this situation. But then, instead of freaking out, you bring all your attention right here, to this moment. You drop all the mental labels like this is awful or this is terrible, and you just accept the isness of it. And from that calm, non-resistant place, you can then ask, what can I do right now? Any action you take from that surrendered state is what Tolle calls positive action. It's focused, it's effective, and it's totally free from all that frantic negative energy. And here's the big question, right? Because we all face things that feel impossible. Things you can't just fix, like a serious illness or losing someone you love or a huge betrayal. What does surrender look like then? Are you supposed to just pretend everything is okay? This is where Tolle introduces this beautiful, compassionate idea of a second chance. He says, look, your first chance is always to accept the reality of the moment. But if you can't, if the situation is just too much and you create pain, that pain itself becomes your second chance to surrender. The idea is so simple, but so profound. If you cannot accept what is happening on the outside, then you accept what is happening on the inside. That means you stop fighting the pain. You let the grief be there. You let the fear be there. You just watch it without judging it. The moment you stop fighting your own feelings, you stop creating more suffering. It's a way of reclaiming your power from the situation. Now, when you start to practice this inner acceptance, this surrender to what is, something incredible happens. You start tapping into a totally different kind of energy. You shift from the limited problem-making mind to a much, much greater source of power. You could say the mind runs on this low-grade fuel of resistance, fear, and the need to control everything. It's the energy that honestly still runs most of our world. But through surrender, you start drawing from a much higher frequency, spiritual energy. And this energy comes from peace, from acceptance, from pure presence. It doesn't pollute you or the world around you. And here's the real paradox, the big payoff. Surrendering is not passive at all. It is the single most powerful thing you can do to create change. When you change your inner state from resistance to acceptance, your whole outer world can shift, because the world is often just a mirror of what's inside you. Situations you are fighting against just dissolve. You become this quiet, powerful presence that can heal conflict just by being. All right, now I want to turn this over to you because, understanding this stuff intellectually is one thing, but living it, that's where the real transformation happens. So I have a few questions to help you bring this into your own life.
Just take a moment. Think about one specific situation. Maybe it's at work, in a relationship, something with your health. Where do you feel that tight, contracted, no feeling inside you? Just gently identify it, no judgment needed. Now, keeping that situation in mind, can you bring all of your attention to just this moment? Not what happened yesterday, not what might happen tomorrow, just right now. What would it feel like, even for an instant, to drop the whole story about it and just let this moment be exactly as it is? And from that quieter place of acceptance, what's one tiny positive step you could take? Maybe it's making a phone call, or maybe it's just taking a conscious breath. Please share your reflections in the comments below. It's so powerful when we learn from each other, and your aha moment might be the exact thing someone else needs to read today. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the final chapter of The Power of Now. What an incredible journey this whole book has been. But before we sign off, I've got a couple of really exciting announcements for the Mish Minds community. First off, in the next few days, keep an eye out for a full compilation of all 10 chapters of this book. It's going to be one big marathon explainer, perfect for anyone who wants to soak in the entire teaching at once. After that, our next book is going to be Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. And finally, we really want to hear from you. What book should we explore after Ikigai? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of surrender. If you got any value out of this deep dive, it would mean the world to me if you would like this video and subscribe to Mish Minds. It really helps us continue this journey of learning and growing together. Until next time, stay present.